And now the pro race. The lights are about to go on, and when they're out, the final race of the 2011 season will be go! Dede gets away fine from the line. Silsir having a bit of a poor start. Will Pablinho try and get past him for the third position? No. Dede leads off turn 4, and Silsir having a bit of troubles there. Pablinho perhaps going to go into third, and Pablinho is off the track, and Eddie is in the lead. Pablinho off and has lost many positions, not good for the championship contender. Meanwhile, Eddie has taken the lead up front for a good move down into turn 7. So it's Eddie from Dede, from Silsir, from Mike, from Lawrence, from Etmil, who is going past Lawrence now, and going past Mike Nike as well in the same straight. 2 cars passed by Etmil. And now Pablinho is challenging Lawrence, a bit of contact there. Crazy first lap. And Pablinho challenging Mike too, but can't quite do it. Pingu running wide in the background. And meanwhile Eddie is setting the fastest lap.
Yes, and it seems that Dede is just holding on in there after his mistake, but Silsir is also keeping up with them. Further back, this is a 4-way battle between Edmil, Mike Knight, Silsir and Lance.
That's Pablinho there, our championship contender.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Pablinho.
He's trying to get past Mike.
Course.
It's really, really important he gets past Mike soon, because really he needs to win this race if he wants to win the championship. A terrible mistake early in the race from Pablinho. And Mike running wide a little bit into the chicane, and Pablinho will look inside, can't quite make the move stick. Here's the replay of how Eddie passed Dede. He just got a great run off the chicane in turns 5 and 6, and just took the lead into turn 7. A great move from Eddie. Now there's a replay of what happened to Pablinho. Yep, he got a boot from Pingu in the back, and that really cost him. Pingu gave the position back. Here's a replay of it up close. There we go, a pretty hard hit from Pingu into the back of Pablinho, and that could be what ultimately cost him the championship. Here's the start from the midfield. There's a Wackinger getting away very poorly off the line, losing the position to Matic and diving in turn 1, but that's not working out for him. And going wide too in turn 4.
Lots of action there in the back.
Yeah, lots of pass. Look, 3 abreast here back in the pack. And here's Jono trying to get past Wackinger. Lots of contact too, lots of contact indeed. That seems to be one of the features of this track, is contains a lot of contact racing, a lot of people running wide. There's Drago pushing Jono wide there, perhaps a little unfair. And Wackinger hitting into the side of Shy Guy. Here's Shimek, who started last on the grid, remember. Very poor qualifying from him. He's making up lots of positions early in this race. Bit of contact with Drago there.
Oh dear.
And here he's going to go to the inside of 2 cars and try and pass 2 cars and then run down to turn 1. Kilka Riki defending the inside. Lex pushes him wide. Really, really intense racing in the back of the pack, just as there is up front. Here's Wackinger running very wide into turn 4. The Shy Guy making his way past. The Shy Guy didn't have the best qualifying in the final race either. And here is a big crash coming up from Kilka Riki. See, was pushed a little wide from Lex, and Popovic also slamming into the trees. See that in slow motion. Pushed wide and going right off the track.
Into the snow, that's good, yeah. Doesn't help your tyres either.
Yeah, very true. And here's what happened to Popo. He got a bit of a hit from Drago and he went off into the trees. So really crazy racing in the back of the pack early in this race, and lots of crashing. But meanwhile, let's get back up to the action up front. Eddie off the final corner running wide. So he's completely lost the gap he spent 2 laps building to Dede in just 1 turn. The fastest lap from Silsir on this lap.
And Pablinho fighting with Mike Knight here.
Yeah, he's going to go around the outside into the chicane, so finally Pablinho makes that position up, but only up to 5th position, so not good for Pablinho so far, not what he needs. Meanwhile, here's Silsir trying to pass Dede for the 2nd position, so Dede is falling. If Eddie does win this race, then he needs Dede to finish 7th, so he really needs Dede to have some problems if he's going to win the championship. But Pablinho, he just needs Dede to finish 5th if he wins the race, but that's looking like less and less of a possibility, even in these opening laps.
Yes, and just after this duo there is Edmil lurking and trying to trying to drive away from Pablino and Mike, but quite a difficult challenge for him. He's made a very good start here, but we'll have to see how he manages.
Pablino is a man on a mission. He needs to pass Etmil, he needs to pass him fast, he needs to get up to Dede and pass him too. He really needs to win this race if he's going to have any hope of winning the championship. Meanwhile, back on board with the battle between Silsir and Dede. Silsir is keeping right up to the gearbox of Dede. Into the chicane at turns 15 and 16. Silsir goes for the outside in turn 17. And he makes it stick. Great move around the outside from Silsir. Fantastic move from Silsir there. Meanwhile, here's some more of the midfield racing. Lons, Pom and Pingu. Pingu getting a good run off turn 3 and goes to the inside of Mr. Pom. He's going to make that one stick. Using the curb very much to slow him down there, you can see. And here's a replay then of Silsir going to the outside of Dede. Keeps him pinned to the curb and makes the move stick.
And that is a wonderful overtake.
There we go, there's...
Just a pleasure to look at this.
Yeah, keeps him right pinned down to that curb, which is what helped him to get around the outside.
Yeah.
Shimek, meanwhile, after a terrible qualifying position, is up to 13th position. Some really great battling all the way throughout the pack. As Walkinger going a bit wide. And Shimek going past 2 cars in one corner. And now that's Lex trying to attack him back and does it. Not without contact, you have to say, and Lex goes off the track. Perhaps deservedly, perhaps not. Lots of contact, lots of people running wide here back in the pack. Here's another replay then of Lex running wide. The contact with Shimek on the throttle too early. And now Lex down to 16th. Now this is an incident we heard about with Drago. Drago perhaps... Yeah, that was more Hazard's fault, I think. Hazard in the blue and black car than it was Drago's, really. As you can see here, Drago's up the inside and just stalls Lex a bit, but then Hazard goes ploughing into the back of him, so I don't think that one was Drago's fault. And Popovich just misses Lex's car. Meanwhile, here's Matic, who's trying to get past Pingu. Pingu defends well to the inside there.
The Shy Guy also back there, along with Mr. Palm.
Yeah, here's a great battle between these two, and Matic actually it looked like he let off the throttle a bit there. He realised it's probably not best to defend that position. That's intelligent racing from Matic there. And Mr. Palm let Matic pass there. I'm not sure what that's for. Perhaps he felt he held him up early in the lap. Ooh, Mr. Palm running wide. There's another example of just how hard you push this track to the limits. Meanwhile, Pablino is trying to defend about Mike Knight, but Mike Knight's up the inside of him. And oh, Mike Knight's gone off. Was that Pablino's fault? Pablino certainly thinks so. He's waiting for him, and the championship goes out the window even more. 3 cars past Pablino. He must have lost at least...
Oh dear. Oh dear.
The championship is slipping away by lap 5. Now maybe it will be left up to Eddie to compete for this championship, but Pablino, really, things have gone from bad to worse there.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, here is Dede going past Silsir, up the inside, makes it stick. He goes wide on the exit and Silsir takes it back. Now they're still going side by side. Maybe Dede is going to try the same move that Silsir did to him. No, now onto the front straight. All the while, Etmil just lurking in the back, trying to capitalise if these two hit each other off, but Dede is certainly not going to be taking too many risks when he's got the championship at stake. Meanwhile, Mike Knight runs wide again, trying to get out of the way of Shy Guy and Pingu who are coming past, and there's Pablino all the way back in 9th position. That is terribly disappointing. Of course, with the drop system, that means he wouldn't even score a single point this race. And meanwhile, here is Dede and Silsir side by side again. Dede gets up the inside and Dede's up to 2nd place. Silsir trying to get it back. And with that pass and Dede up to 2nd, that means he's winning the championship currently by 9 points over Eddie. And then Pablino is way back. And here is Eddie.
Yeah. I think that Pablino would really have to hope for a reliability problem for Dede, or his championship hopes.
Well, it's not just that. If Eddie wins the race, then Pablino cannot win the championship. And remember, Eddie's win the races. We see Shy Guy pissed into a rock. That's not good. He's lost about 3 or 4, 5 positions there. Here's a replay of Eddie. And slow motion for the chicane. Ooh, look how close he came to that rock. Very close. And we saw what happened to Shy Guy. And look at Pingu just squeezing through. That was a good avoidance from Pingu. Whether it was luck or not is unsure. Now, here's what happened with Pablinho and Mike Light. See Mike overtook him on the main straight, and Pablinho just hit. Did he hit into the back of him there? It's unsure really. It looked like Mike wasn't braking. So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
I didn't see much of a contact there actually, and let's see again.
Is there a contact?
It wouldn't seem so. And actually, as you can see, there's no smoke coming out the back of Mike's car, and that indicates he wasn't braking.
Or his brakes didn't actually work. Or he forgot to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a Shy Guy hitting into Pingu, which caused Pingu to go sliding when those two Pablinho tried to give the position back to Mike, and he did so, but Pingu went sliding there as Shy Guy tried to squeeze through that spot. And here's another overtake in the midfield. Matic, Mr. Pom goes to the inside.
Going to the inside and making it stick. Quite
Yeah.
long with that.
So lots of things happening all at the same time at that point in the race. Pablinho having to give way to Mike, although did he have to? More controversy. If that's what cost Pablinho the championship in the end, those 3 or 4 seconds, which doesn't look like that's what will be happening, but if it is, then that will be a real disaster.
I have to agree with you on that, yes.
Of course. Yeah, of course, there's always could be a problem with the cars sort of having almost a transparent front wing, where they sort of getting really close to the guy behind actually sort of forces him off, even if you didn't actually touch him. Meanwhile, here's Pablinho trying to get past Shy Guy and Pingu after his mistake, and nothing happening, just can't do it. Pablinho really suffering at the start of this race. And he's going to try and force his way past Pingu here. Pingu comes straight back at him. Just because he's a championship contender, he's not getting any special treatment, certainly in this race. Here's an inter-team battle with the VRT team, fighting for supremacy, Shimek and Wockinger. Wockinger has been quite ahead of Shimek recently.
Jono's slowing down. Jono's slowing down.
Ooh, Jono having problems there. After Jono made a good start, Jono in his second ever pro race, his first was last week in Qatar. But Jono's back down to the 20th position now after some problems there. Meanwhile, back to the action. Here's Pablinho in 8th place now. Really disappointed for him. He needs to do better than this. Perhaps it's the pressure of running for the championship, which is what is costing him. But meanwhile, trying to go around the outside of Pingu, went sliding, and Mr. Pom went into the rock, and Pom lost a lot of time from that. But Pablinho is past Pingu. Pingu is let him pass there. Meanwhile, Shy Guy and Pingu continue to battle. You see how they smashed the curbs there in that chicane. Really exciting stuff. Really great track, which really forces you to push the limits, and best of all, it punishes you if you go over those limits because of the snow on the outside. It's a really great track for a championship finale, for sure. If perhaps we could have an exciting championship battle, if Pablinho could get back in this race, or Dede could have a problem. Meanwhile, Pingu going into a rock there.
And immediately pitching after that.
Yeah, just like we saw, we've seen that before actually. We've seen Shy Guy pit after he went into a rock. Perhaps it's just to regain composure, regain your thoughts, and also getting some clean air to make some fast starts. Pingu out the pits just in front of Kiki Riki in 18th position.
And Jono was also in the pit stop.
Yeah, after his poor problems earlier, like a lag mistake or perhaps a problem with the keyboard or something. And ooh, there's Drago hit into the back of Kilkariki. Kilkariki not happy, he's trying to brake check him there. Oh, that Kilkariki completely diving at Drago. It's on team radio.
What is he doing?